See, it's tough with Brockhampton because like I feel like I'm making a breakup video right now, but I'm not. I'm just talking about a band that I have emotions tied to because I grew up with them. But I kind of want to leave emotions at the door for a second and talk about this perception that like there's a Brockhampton before Amir and a Brockhampton after him. I see and hear the phrase wasted potential thrown around, but with 90% of their career in the rear view, I feel like that is no longer, or maybe was ever, a based take. Trust me, I was right there with you. I was like, this guy f***ed it up, it's never gonna be the same again, they were on such a good streak, right? We were all saying the same thing. But then, you know, and I'm not saying this in a mean way, I grew up a little bit, and my take on that, along with a lot of other things, changed quite a lot. Okay, I'm gonna drop my old man take on you. Ready? When looked at as a whole, the Brockhampton discography represents what it's like to be born, grow up, age, and die on the internet. Let me show you what I mean. All American Trash, a fun mixtape that was a little rough around the edges, but lots of unique choices structurally and sonically. Ultimately, it just sounds like a bunch of guys who met on the internet who are just having a bunch of fun, and boom, Brockhampton is born. The Saturation trilogy, the boys are like, hey, we have something here. And they really cement this idea that there's something you've never seen before, a creative collective, a boy band. They're making music at a stupid fast but stupid consistent rate, and they are the hottest thing of the 2010s for a bit. They are growing up. But growing up doesn't happen without growing pains, and that's when the Amir thing happens, right? Cancelled multiple times actually for things true and false that will not be touched on in this video because that is not the point. It's really a shame that Iridescence came after Saturation because I think placed anywhere else later in their catalog, it would have been received much better for what it was. Those 1997, 8, and 9 singles only added to a feeling of sonic whiplash, and without question, this is when they started aging into adulthood. Everyone had these empty, sullen eyes and cryptic, sparse social media presences, and the boys were clearly hurt, lost, and confused. Kind of the harsh reality of adulthood, right? Bad things just happen sometimes. Ginger for sure felt like the most mature evolution of the group yet, the oldest they've ever been, but in a more wholesome, cathartic way. The record truly felt like the warm hug pictured on the album cover. You have themes of redemption, love, and anything else a hurt person would look for after expressing their pain. Roadrunner for me doesn't really feel like a release of that pain, nor was it the return to form that the Wasted Potential fans might have been looking for if they were even still around. It very much felt like their pandemic record, if I'm being honest, but I don't really think that takes away from it. The pandemic happened, we all know what it was like, and we all aged a million years in it. And well, so did they. There's a ton of self-reflection on this record, especially on the back half, which a lot of people, including myself, did way too much of during this time period. And now we're here, on death's door, so to speak, and I'm shooting this right after the first single came out. And while the record isn't out yet, I can tell you it'll do what any good eulogy at a funeral would do. Recount the life of the baby that was Brockhampton. Brockhampton was the 2010s. Brockhampton was youth, growth, passion, pain, sorrow, loss, forgiveness, acceptance, and death. This isn't a story of wasted potential, this is a story of a life fully lived. And looking at it that way, it's much easier to know which page of the book to flip to when you're feeling up, down, old, new, lonely, sad, excited, or joyful. And because of that, I think this book is one that's going to be continually revisited even after the authors have died. And maybe that's more profoundly human than arriving at some sort of magnum opus of a record. If you like this video, check out this one I did on Kanye where I dissect just one of his songs and see how much that says about him.